All right, let's dive into something that is a total game changer for developers. AWS Elastic Beanstalk. It's that service that promises to take your app from your machine to the cloud, like instantly, without you having to become some kind of infrastructure guru. So how does it actually pull this off? Let's get into it. Okay, so picture this, right? You're a developer. You've just poured your heart and soul into building this amazing, maybe even billion-dollar web application. You're so ready to get it out into the world. Your passion, the thing you're great at, is writing awesome code. But then comes deployment. And yeah, that's a whole different can of worms. I mean, let's be real. After all that creative energy you just spent building your app, do you really want to stop everything and become an expert on servers and networks? Nah, of course not. You want to keep building cool features. You want to perfect that user experience. You don't want to be messing around with the digital plumbing that just makes it all work. And that's because the checklist of infrastructure stuff is, well, it's just endless. You've got to worry about making sure it's resilient so it doesn't fall over. You have to configure load balancing, set up auto-scaling for traffic spikes. Then you got to install the right runtimes, Java, .NET, Node.js, whatever you're using. Oh, and don't forget the web servers, like Apache or Nginx. And as if that's not enough, you're on the hook for every single OS patch and update. Seriously, it's a full-time job all by itself. So this is exactly where Elastic Beanstalk comes in to save the day. It's what we call a platform as a service, or PaaS for short. And what that really means is it just gives you a ready-made platform to drop your code onto, so you don't have to build all that complicated infrastructure from scratch yourself. It's a way simpler path forward. And this right here is the core promise. It sounds simple because it is simple. You upload your application code, and Elastic Beanstalk, it just handles everything else. Okay, so let's break down what this super simplified workflow actually looks like from your point of view, as the person who actually built the app. Honestly, it pretty much boils down to just 2 steps. Step 1, you write your incredible, world-changing web application. That's your magic right there. And step 2, you just upload your code to Elastic Beanstalk, and that's it. Seriously, your part of the deployment is done. Finished. Yeah, I know. That sounds almost too easy, doesn't it? So what does handles the rest actually mean? What's all the magic that's happening behind the scenes? Let's pull back the curtain and take a look. So, when you upload your code, Beanstalk doesn't just, plop it onto a random server. No way. It gets to work building out and managing a complete production-ready environment for you, all on AWS. This is what I love. Look at this clear division of labor. It's like a contract. Your responsibility? The application code. That's it. Elastic Beanstalk's responsibility? Well, basically everything else. We're talking capacity provisioning, load balancing, auto-scaling, application health monitoring, even those annoying OS patches and updates. It's all on Beanstalk's plate, not yours. And it's not using some mysterious black box technology. It's building all this for you using standard, powerful AWS resources that you already know and trust. It'll automatically spin up EC2 instances for the actual compute power. It'll create an elastic load balancer to spread out the traffic, and it'll set up an auto-scaling group so your app can handle sudden spikes in users. It can even hook you up with an RDS database or S3 for storage, all as part of the environment. And don't worry about what language you're using, because this thing is incredibly flexible. It has built-in support for pretty much all the big ones you'd expect: Java, .NET, PHP, Node.js, Python, Ruby, Go, you name it. Basically, you bring the code and Beanstalk figures out the right environment for it. And that same bring-your-own flexibility applies to the server platform too. Whether your app needs Apache, Nginx, or Microsoft's IIS, Beanstalk has you covered. And this is a big one. It also has amazing support for Docker. So if you're into containers, you can deploy your containerized apps with the exact same dead simple process. Okay, so that's a lot of cool automation, but what does it all mean? Like, what's the real benefit to you or your business at the end of the day? Let's get to the bottom line. It really comes down to this. It is, hands down, the fastest and simplest way to deploy your application on AWS, period. It just vaporizes dozens of complicated steps and lets you go from a file on your computer to a live, scalable app in, well, minutes. So what's the bottom line here? What should you take away? Well, number 1, you get to focus on what you're actually good at and love doing, writing code. Number 2, you can just stop worrying about infrastructure. Let it go. And what happens when you combine those 2 things? You get your product to market and in front of your users way, way faster. Look, if there's just one thing you remember from all this, let it be this simple mantra. It's the whole philosophy behind Elastic Beanstalk. Focus on your code, let AWS manage the infrastructure. That's it. You handle your unique, creative work, and let them handle the complex, messy stuff that's the same for everyone. And I will just leave you with this question to think about. Imagine for a second that all the time, all the stress, all the mental energy you currently spend just thinking about infrastructure, what if it was all just gone, freed up? What amazing new features could you build? What new ideas could you finally try out? Just think about what you could create if the infrastructure was simply handled for you.